Hello, I am master of Samchykivskiy painting, which originates from Samchyki village in Ukraine. And today I will show you how to create such a painting in this Samchykivskiy style. We will call it shortly Samchyki style. We will paint a red fox with a fox cap. We will draw it together with you. I will show how to do it. It's not very difficult. We will do it in several stages. Start from the large elements and then we will continue with the elements which are specific for Samchyki painting, and we will create our nice painting with such interesting foxes. We start to draw. We should place our drawing conveniently on a piece of paper. That's why we make such a small frame. We do it in order our painting does not go over the edge. And then we start to create our fox. We draw such a triangle. It's a head. And we make such a drop. It will be a body. Here we make ears and start to make a fox cap. Place it next to mom so that they are intertwined with tails. We make it round. This is just a sketch. During painting, we will remove unnecessary lines which interfere, but this is the first stage of our process. Here is a head of little fox. It is also such a triangle. We draw ears, then we create a muzzle of a fox. Here is the nose, eyes, such a muzzle, and we look further, creating the fox body. Here will be the tail of a fox cap, and here will be the tail of a mother who hugs her child. So reddish and fluffy tail. Here we are making a back. Let's feel the movement of our lines. The lines are soft. This is typical for the Samchyki style. This is so authentic and very beautiful painting style. I got acquainted with Samchyki painting when I first met Viktor Rakovsky, my teacher from Samchyki village, located in Khmelnytsky region of Ukraine. Few years ago, there were left only 4 very elderly people who knew this authentic painting style. And now there is a painting school for Samchyki painting, so thanks God, this cultural heritage will be preserved. I've fallen in love with Samchyki painting from the first moment. My teacher showed its beauty, how to create it. It's a colorful dream. And now I already teach people by myself. Now it is very interesting thing. I've made the basis of our composition, I made large elements, and now we will make exactly what is inherent for Samchyki painting style. Elements which will make our painting live and special. We call it оживочки. There is no exact translation for this word. Shortly, vitalization. Оживочки is name of the elements specific for Samchyki painting, which enliven such large masses of color, make them more interesting, adding different colors. Therefore, we begin to add such elements to our composition. These elements, оживочки, can be wavy or jagged. We make such waves, we make jugs. I show you the principle. Here we draw a paw. Our fox will hug its fox cap. We make a paw here, and I draw such a forelock, so our fox will look so playful and fun. Wonderful! Here we will have the tip of the tail. We use circles, jugs, waves. All these elements are inherent for Samchyki painting style. When we've made a sketch, we erase auxiliary lines which we don't need now. Look, I made this sketch in green and red in order to show you how to distinguish better auxiliary and main lines. Here is a fox cub is painted in red in order to better read it in general picture. When we have a sketch, we can start painting. I prepared same sketch but with thin lines in advance. Let's start painting with paints. You can use any paints which you have handy: gouache, watercolor, acrylic or tempera. Samchyki painting style allows to use any paint. We even can use colored pencils when we create quick picture. Of course, when the master makes the work for the exhibition or for sale, work to be done very accurately. But again, with any paints: water-based paint, acrylic, gouache or tempera, depending on preferences of particular master. What is specific, particularly for the Samchyki painting style? Each element is painted in a separate color. We don't mix the colors with each other like in other painting styles. Samchyki painting style has such a feature like a children's coloring or stained glass. Each element has its own border, and we maintain these boundaries in color, in phasing each one color by another. We do not leave any wide gaps between colors. One color zone fits close to another. You see, I took the ochre paint. I don't mix it with anything now. I apply clear ochre here. And I look all over the general painting where to use this color. You can paint not only on paper, you can also paint clothes and any elements which you want to decorate. In former times, people painted ceilings, stoves, house walls. You can see painted houses in Samchyki village during art tour in Ukraine. Now we already started to decompose colors, starting with light colors. Here we use some red. We use colors which emphasize each other. We fill empty zones. As you see, I don't paint any color close to another in order to let them dry a little bit. Otherwise, if you paint next color close to wet paint, it will flow. Blend and mix, and in this case we will not have solid color in that zone. Therefore, we should let it dry. Here it dries up, and we move here to the other side and start painting there. Look, I make such an element here, like sideburns of our beautiful fox. They convey the character of the animal we draw. Then we will use this plate as a palette. We need to mix some colors. We take such a light blue paint and add there very little drop of black to make our paint not so bright. to make subdued tone of color. We've got such a gray-blue dye, and we will paint with it. Normally, fox has some white elements, but since our background is already white, as you see, we will draw these elements in light blue, because if we leave white spots on a white background, it would look not nice, like holes. When we make Samchyki painting on a colored background, for example on black or green, in this case we can use white as a separate color. So now we paint those elements which should be white in fox in gray or blue. And I usually use both gray and blue, two colors which fit and emphasize each other to make our painting even more interesting. We also use brown. We make this dye a little bit lighter, so it would not look like a black. Colors used for Samchyki painting can be both clear dyes or complex mixed colors in order to fit each other and make overall painting more interesting with such a beautiful color scheme. Here we will change the brush. Now we take a thin brush to make a sharp element, paint it very carefully. So our round elements should be round and the sharp elements should be very neat, sharp and accurate. This will emphasize beauty of each element. When we have light background, we emphasize the edges with the darker colors, so that our fox will keep the shape. Here we can make a smile, so we have smiling fox. Here we will make eyes for both fox and fox cub, making eyes in dark colors. Let's make a nose, round nose, and here also with overtone, a spot of light. Now we need to make gray color. We mix it. Everyone knows how to make gray. For this you need to take white and add a little, really small drop of black and mix it on the palette. Also, we can add small drop of brown to make our mixed color warmer. So now we've got such a warm, beautiful gray color. Here we start. I try now and I see that these two color tones are very close to each other, so we need to add more white to have different tones in order to separate color zones from each other. I tried that tone and it didn't fit, so I added a little bit of white and this color tone already fits. If you mix tones and something went wrong, it's not a problem because we use paste pens. which overlap previous layer very tightly, so you cannot see what is underneath. Therefore, it's very convenient to paint, and don't worry if something went wrong somewhere. When the paint dries, we can correct or repaint this element. Now we will make a light brown color tone. We mix ochre and brown dye, so our new tone should not look like our dark color which we used before. And we will use it to paint some elements. I want to add a bright accent now. I take orange color to make a muzzle for our fox here. We put the brush and draw slowly, without any sharp movements. We slowly move the brush through all turns, like our brush dances on the paper, but slowly. Here is the tail, and a paw. We only have to make paws and tails, and our foxes will be ready. Now we will make a light brown color tone. We mix ochre and brown dye, so our new tone should not look like our dark color which we used before. And we will use it to paint some elements. I want to add a bright accent now. I take an orange color to make a muzzle for our fox here. We put the brush and draw slowly, without any sharp movement. We slowly move the brush through all turns, like our brush dances on the paper, but slowly. Here the tail. We only have to make paws and tails, and our foxes will be ready. Making a paw, here we need to apply such a color. You see, we use all warm colors here. The only here neutral cold is gray and blue. The all other colors are warm, 2 shades of red, ochre, orange, brown, hot tone of yellow, which I draw now. In this work we didn't use black ink, but generally in the Samchyki painting style, black is quite often used. It looks very well, emphasizes the colors, gives such a special character to the picture. Look! Just a little bit left before we finish our foxes. I will also make the blue point here by thin brush. For little fox we make an eye with 2 colors, light blue and dark blue. Here I am faces, and here is our fox. That's it! Congratulations! Now I will show you. Look! I painted here and on this picture here, but 2 pictures are different, some different colors. Because I had different mood today, and when I painted previous fox picture, here I added more orange colors, so you see even one master makes something different each time. So paint, experiment, create, and feel happy during your creative process. Thank you and hope to see you in Ukraine soon.